As Pro Wrestling Noah's heavyweight round robin tournament is right around the corner, the N1 victory, and it's time for my thoughts and preview for this tournament. As for the first time in the 11 years that they have done this, formerly the Global League, now the N1 victory, this heavyweight round robin tournament, for the first time, 4 people in 4 blocks. Blocks A, B, C, and D, much like their junior tournament this year where they had the 4 blocks and 4 guys. That seems to be their mark, but personally, no, they just can't seem to really have a tradition of things, which at the same time I think it's fine because I think sometimes tradition can lead you into not being creative and not doing things that are unique, but at the same time it is kind of tough to kind of always grasp and get ready for, as they're each to own. They have their positives and negatives. But for this N1 victory, for the unlike last year, which I thought again was interesting, for last year that for the first time they had their champion, who was Go Shiozaki at the time, being in it. This year, not so much. Michi Marufuji is going to take on the winner at Grand Square in Osaka on October 10th. And so basically how this goes, because there's 4 blocks, whoever wins blocks A and B will face each other, then whoever wins block C and D will face each other. Obviously, whoever wins those 2 matches faces off in the finals. Let's just run down the blocks. Let's waste no time here. It's Takashi Sugiura, Kaito Kiyomiya, Manabu Soya, and Keiji Muto round up the first block in Block A. Man, Keiji Muto, for the first time since 2009, 12 years since this man has been in a round-robin tournament. For the first time he's being in one here. Obviously, I think this is about the only time he's going to be able to do it. Something like this where it's not so high maintenance, where it's only 3 matches, in a block. If he wins it, then if he wins, he'll have another one. But still, depending on if he wins or loses, he's only going to have 3 matches. So that's huge. I think that's great for, obviously, the veteran talent. They have a lot of veteran guys in Pro Wrestling Noah, so I think that makes a lot of sense. As for this block, it's probably the biggest as far as names go. You got 3 former GHC heavyweight champions. That's pretty stacked. And I don't think any block has that many GHC heavyweight champions in it. And this is arguably whoever wins this block is probably going to win the whole thing. Thinking of that type of, from that standpoint. Really, it's a tough one to call. As far as who can win. I think Kaito's finally going to be Keiji Muto. I think they're finally going to right that wrong. Hopefully Nozawa does that. Because I don't think Keiji should win this round. Or he shouldn't win the block. If Muto beats even like Sugiura, that would stink. I don't think he needs to beat Sugiura. I don't think he should beat anybody in this block, to be honest. I think Manabu Soya should beat him. And then Soya should lose to Sugiura. Maybe even beat Sugiura and have just Kaito Kiyomiya go through the block, but only losing to Takashi Sugiura. That seems like the most sense to me, and I think he should win Block A there. As Kaito Kiyomiya, he's someone that obviously was kind of thrown into the limelight of, you're going to be the fucking ace now at a very young age. And he somehow, he didn't drop the ball with that. He somehow made it work. He's the last ever Global League winner. He won it in 2018. That was before they obviously switched to the N1 victory. Kenoh is the only 2-time Global League winner. Or just, Noah's round robin heavyweight tournament winner. So, Kaito Kiyomiya would join that list if he does win. That is, big if. But, he led A block last year. They lost to Nakajima, which obviously that was the right decision there. And really, I think this year, compared to last year, it's kind of like, all right, Nakajima's winning this thing. This year, I really have no clue. There's so many different ways you can go about it. There's so many different paths. Obviously with Marufuji, he can wrestle with just about anybody on this list. There's some exciting names to be like, wow, that'd be an awesome dude to be in the fucking, to take on Marufuji in a main event of a title match. Really from that C block, there's someone that specifically I'm like, that dude would be fucking awesome to see in a main event. But obviously, it's all about if and when that happens. But, that's an exciting block for sure. That's a block to watch out for. You got the biggest names pretty much in Pro Wrestling, I think, in that block. You know, besides Naomichi Mafuchi and Go Shizaki and Go still hurt. So there's that. For Block B, we got Keno, Daki Anabe, Masaaki Machizuki, and Kendo Kashin, who is replacing the injured Murakami, and that's tough. But hey, you're replacing kind of one shooter with another. Obviously, Murakami is an all-timer as far as like shooters that went into the pro wrestling business. He's the man, and that sucks that he's not part of this tournament, because I think him and Machizuki would have killed it. And this is a fun block, you know, as far as Keno, Anabe, Machizuki, and even Kendo Kashin. They all kind of have the same type of skill set. Definitely legit type of shooter dudes that could fuck up most normal people, and that's very exciting to have a block like that. As obviously, you know, Anabe was a former Wrestle One guy, won their Grand Prix 2 years ago, 2019, and was a two-time Wrestle One world champion. That'd be a huge win if he won this block. I don't see it happening, but that would be a huge kind of like, whoa, this, you know, Daki Anabe is a problem in pro wrestling. That would be a huge moment for him. Keno, weirdly enough, Dragon Gate it was doing the show, and he showed up in a red suit. It was fucking awesome, and was kind of hyping up having a promo with Yamato, because Dragon Gate, for those who don't know, Dragon Gate's doing a Amazon Prime show for the Japanese version of Amazon, because I think you have to be, it's a region lock thing. You have to, you know, unless you have a VPN or I guess that's, or you live in Japan, you'll be able to see it. But they're doing like it's not exactly a Dragon Gate type show. It's going to be kind of, it seems to be like they're wanting it to be like a kind of like a MMA type of product, which is kind of crazy to think about, because obviously Dragon Gate, that's not exactly what comes to mind. But like Shinya Aoki's supposed to be like the top guy that's going to be represented on the show. That was kind of like early reports, and maybe it's changed from those reports, but that was kind of the last thing I heard about it. And like their storylines are going to be much different than what's going on in Dragon Gate. It seems to be a whole different thing. They might have fucking Keno on that show, which is crazy to think about. So maybe Keno doesn't win here, and they have it be Machizuki, like Machizuki beats him, or they, you know, somehow down the line, who knows? Because I think Keno is going to team. I mean, you know, it's really tough, because obviously him and Machizuki are you know, playing up to that for sure. They'll be playing up to probably that in their match in this block here, and that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, Kendo Kashin's not going to win, but it's fun to see him in this, in that block specifically. That's a fun block. It's a fun block. It's a tough one to call. It's really, as far as, you know, I think a Kaito Kiyomiya Daki Anabe match would be so cool. And because, you know, Daki Anabe's 33, and then obviously Kaito's 23, I think. Maybe 25 now. Yeah, he's 25. So that's kind of, it's a couple of younger guys, especially Pro Wrestling Noah. They got the veterans. They have a lot of veteran names, and that would be a fun, because I think the blocks C and D are going to be featured with some veterans, and just kind of be two different type of styles of matches in those kind of semi-final matches. Just thinking ahead, just kind of what I'm thinking there. But, you know, again, they could still go Keno. You know, he is a Pro Wrestling Noah guy, and he's one of their, I would say, top 5 guys, if it was up to me. Maybe just outside the top 5. But, I mean, it's a fun block. Again, I can't say it enough. It's Block C. It's Katsuhiko Nakajima, Kazushi Sakuraba, Kotora Suzuki, which is pretty awesome. A former lifelong junior moving up here to this N1 victory, and Masato Tanaka. Okay, so Masato Tanaka has been on fucking fire somehow in 2021. I mean, this man is 48 years old. And again, like, that's just kind of the way Japanese pro wrestling goes a lot of times. You know, we got so many great all-time talents, but like a man in the late 90s who was getting his fucking brains scrambled with some fucking Balls Mahoney chair shots, and it just was having legendary matches with Mike Awesome, and going, it just, his whole entire ECW run, his FMW run was incredible. To, like, fast forward that to 2021, and he's having incredible matches. He just had a great run of matches in 0-1, and he has been on fire. And to go from one round robin to another is pretty fucking awesome for a man of that age. Obviously, again, I think this can happen because of how small this round robin tournament is. I think that's another great point of having a smaller type of setup compared to All Japan and New Japan, where you can have your veteran stars be able to actually do a tournament like this and not worried about being injured halfway through and whatnot. But I mean, Kotaro Suzuki is in a tough spot. He's in a tough block. You got Nakajima in there, you got Sakuraba in there, and Masato Tanaka. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't beat anybody. You know, that's a tough loss for all three of them, but it is what it is. That's what's going to happen. He's going to join Akatoshi Saito and Block D as just people who are not going to win any matches. But yeah, I mean, as far as who wins this, I want it to be Masato Tanaka. I want a Masato Tanaka Kazuchika Fujita match. I need it. I need it so badly. That match would be incredible. That'd be so fun. And to also, then you have as the finals be a Kaito Kiyomiya Masato Tanaka. Like, that's fucking, he's been wrestling longer than that man's been alive type of thing. And that's just awesome. An awesome match that would be so fun. Would be so fun. I'm just hoping for Masato Tanaka personally. I don't think Nakajima, it sucks because I think Nakajima, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do Nakajima, Masa Kiyomiya as their semifinals for C&D. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. Obviously, they just had the cage fucking, shaved head fucking deal of Nakajima now with a shaved head. I just don't think he really needs to be in the heavyweight title scene. Though, obviously, anytime him and Marufuji share the same ring, I'm all for it, but I just don't think he needs it at this moment. He's kind of, he had his moment, I think, of really being in the title picture scene last year. And if he's not going to win it, I'm the type of guy that just, like, if Nakajima's not winning it, I don't really need him to keep on losing in the main event. Let him be kind of just slightly below in that co-main event spot, beating guys. And maybe, focus on the national title scene. Maybe that'd be something he can do in the future. But, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very tough match, because really right now, this is perfect spot for Nakajima to bounce back after kind of having a subpar, I would say, just as far as a subpar summer after having the tremendous fucking matches with Go Shiozaki last year. It's just not needed. I just don't think it's the time. And, again, you have, it's kind of tough that he's in a block with Sakuraba too, which I think he can definitely beat him. I would have him beat everybody but Masato Tanaka, and I'd have Tanaka beat everybody. That's just kind of my thing, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Nakajima beat Masato Tanaka, and Masato Tanaka beat everybody, obviously, but Nakajima. So it wouldn't really matter to who wins that block C. Either way, I think Nakajima or Masato Tanaka, that's a great winner in a block. For block D, the final block, Masa Kiyomiya, Akatoshi Saito, Masakatsu Funaki, and Kazuchika Fujita. In my opinion, this is the weakest block, for sure. There's some exciting matches in Masa Kiyomiya and then Kazuchika Fujita. But really, like, Masakatsu Funaki, he's awesome, and I love how they put together his matches, because they are put together so smartly for his style and what he is. He's a fucking all-time shooter. I kind of wish Minoru Suzuki kind of had that type of booking sometimes, where he's still a legitimate threat as far as, like, his kickboxing and his stand-up and just kind of, and obviously his catch wrestling and just everything that like the match with Keno, for instance, that happened in Budokan. I love that match. It's very simple, and it's very not pro wrestling, which I understand why people wouldn't like that, because people want to see pro wrestling, but just for who he is and who Keno is, even. Keno's very talented as, like, a fucking karate dude. I want to say he was a karate. Maybe, no, it's Kimbo, that's right. He's a Kimbo guy. So Nakajima's the karate guy. Yeah, so Keno is Masakatsu Funaki, rather. The Funaki Keno match, it's very fun from that perspective, but he can't really do that with anybody here. It's funny that Akatoshi Saito made this. That's just kind of funny. Obviously, he's there to lose, so I'm all for it, but it's just kind of funny he made the list. Obviously, I'm sure if, like, Go Shiozaki was ready to go, he'd probably been in this block, and Yeah, I mean, whoever, it's either going to be Masa or it's going to be Kazuchika Fujita winning this block. I would, either way, a Masato Tanaka Masa Kitamiya match, fuck yeah. Masato Tanaka Kazuchika Fujita, fuck yeah. Or Nakajima and Masa Kitamiya, do that back and have Nakajima get the win back. I can also see that. Either way, because, here's the thing. Nakajima obviously beat Kaito last year in the final. So I think they're going to probably run that back, which is wild because in 2018, that was the finals. Nakajima and Kaito beat him. So you could kind of have a trilogy in the main event. So that'd be kind of fun. That would be a unique way of going about that and having Kaito win. But, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios they can do. I'm very, very excited for this N1 victory. I mean, compared to, last year where it was we know Nakajima's winning. We just know it. This, you don't really know, which is always fun, but the matches you got. And really, compared to what New Japan's doing right now, which, I'll talk about that next week as far as, you'll be seeing it, this week, but as I'm recording this before that week, that everything's taken place for the G1, that's, it's just that the participants in that, I wish I knew that New Japan was gonna get a freelancer or somebody, but they just don't. The last time somebody outside of New Japan was in a G1 were Noah guys, and that was because they were working with them, and that was they were trying to save Noah so they didn't die because of all the shit that happened in the early and mid 2010s. But other than that, there's really no freelancer, or there's not somebody from a different promotion like an All Japan, or even a 0-1, or when Wrestle One was alive. They just don't do that. And here, look at how unique and how much excitement that's been added to this because they brought in someone like Masato Tanaka. Just perfect. That's how you use a freelancer. That's the best way of going about it. Use them for your round robins. They can maybe beat a big guy, maybe one, maybe even two, but for the most part, they can either put somebody over, or they can, go on a tear because they're fucking awesome. You could go either way with it. They just, refuse to do that, New Japan does. But Noah, they're fuck it, we'll use anybody, we'll DDT over here. I'm surprised they didn't have a DDT guy in this. It's just kind of that type of relationship, and just when Japanese pro wrestling companies are working together, it's a much better product for everybody else involved. I think everybody's figuring that out now, with AEW doing that, opening up the forbidden door, quote unquote, and working with just about anybody they can. When everybody's happy with each other and working with everybody, that talent gets passed around, and you get to see a lot more exciting matches just for the fans, whereas, if you just shut the fucking gates down and you're just this is the New Japan product, we're using our New Japan guys, we're loyal to them, and that's fine, and it worked for, 7-8 years, but now it's time to shake it up, because you're not getting new guys in time to really change it up, and now your big gaijin stars that you've built up for the past 3-4 years are now gone, so now you're just kind of left with the talent that you've had for the past 7-8 years, and people want new things, so that's fine, and that's what Pro Wrestling Noah was trying to do here. They're using new guys. They brought in Kai Shimuto after Wrestle 1 closed. Masato Tanaka, the M1, the M Alliance has been fun. It's a simple idea, but it's been awesome. They've had some great fucking talent come in. Like a Masato Tanaka, like Machizuki, like Masakatsu Funaki. And they've done a great job of adding some new flavor, but guys from the past that everybody fucking knows, you don't have to reintroduce everybody to this new talent. It's perfect. And, this, hopefully, everybody is excited for this N1 victory as I am. That way Noah's doing their job. But I'm looking forward to whoever wins this and whoever, the Marufuji match on the 10th. That should be a lot of fun. Especially, Kaito and Marufuji be fun. If it's Kano for some reason, I doubt it's going to be Kano, but if it's Anabe for some reason, Nakajima, Masato Tanaka, Kazuchika Fujita, whoever it may be, it's going to be a fun match, because Marufuji's, I think he's well rested enough, and he can kind of bring out an awesome match every now and again, and I think that's kind of in the perfect spot where he's at. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later, I guess, for this Pro Wrestling Noah talk. Take care, everyone.